Good afternoon, everybody. It's better sex, better life again. So we can see Ezekiel, our handsome, my coach. So today we have a very interesting topic. So we have actually gathered a lot of sex myth in order to for us, both of us, to bust it. So if you have any sex myth that you are not sure if the facts, please do type at the comment and do share our Facebook Live if you think this is beneficial to most of the people.
Yeah. By the
Okay,
way,
so
we should probably like tell people that, by the way, we are not medical professionals. We are talking mostly from study and experience, plus the people that we've worked with. But at the very least, today we'll do something a bit more like rapid fire today.
okay. So yeah, I think a lot of times Malaysia, I think especially Asian, we are not commonly openly talk about sex. So there is so much of myth that people will think. And do you know when I'm young, the first perception about sex is, when you kiss someone and you will get pregnant. When you watch a
Wow.
movie, when you watch a movie, it's always
Wow.
like somebody kiss and then it's end of the story. Then you will think, okay, I will get pregnant through that.
Yeah, here's the since we let's start there. Like, where did that come from?
From movies, when you see movies, they when they sleep, like when they have sex, but they don't show how they have sex. They just show the
Oh,
kissing scene, and
and
after
then
that, and somebody will say, "Oh, I'm pregnant." So even my kids right now, they will think that just kissing someone will actually make that person pregnant.
wow, if that was true, I would have gotten somebody pregnant at 4 years old. But okay.
So that there's so much of myth that there's is not openly talked about. So a lot of times, I think some of the myth I saw is also very common that I
Yeah.
thought is true when I was young.
Hmm. All right, let's start. Which one? Where do we want to start? Let's start with number one. Hmm.
Okay. So watching porns makes you good at sex.
Ugh.
But I think that's where we learn. I mean, I remember young time, secondary school, we have boys who gathered together at somebody's house and watch porn.
Yeah. Yeah, it also depends. I would definitely say that as a general note, I think this is definitely a no because the
No.
kind of being on, hmm, okay, like most porn, like the regular ones, not the very, very extreme kind of ones. A lot of the ways that they predict, show things is actually based on what is gonna look good on camera and
Yeah,
angles, etc. But
we
for the
didn't
most
know that. We didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I
You
also
know,
did not know that, until I was 15, 14. So early.
so when you look at porn, there's so many how to say, unrealistic expectation.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it makes you feel a bit scary to actually try sex, I would
Yeah.
say.
And also a lot of the focus on a lot of the very regular pornography materials is like just the emphasis on uh like really hard in and out penetration kind of action, whatever, like which is actually not really, it doesn't really feel good for anybody.
I think, I
Caring.
think and sometimes when you look at porn, you are really not sure. I mean, especially when you're young, you are really not sure whether the woman is enjoying it or actually screaming, or what is happening there. It doesn't show intimacy. It doesn't show like love and pleasure. It's just like hardcore cow.
Yeah, I will give certain aspects of pornography though a credit in terms of potentially being more creative with foreplay.
Okay.
Because at least you could play with like scenarios and acting or whatever if you wanted to, and some people really like that to add some novelty. But beyond that, not so not so suggested, I guess.
So that there is ethical pornography nowadays, right? That is more realistic and seems like the ethical pornography are more educational. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of there's some new stuff coming out now, and then uh, in terms of ethical pornography, I think there's a lot more push as well in the industry to also show a more even more genres, even the more realistic kind of uh, uh, like scenarios, like real scenarios, which I think is really good. I think it dispels a lot of misconceptions and still entertaining.
So the number two myth is watching too much porn will kill erection. So it's actually quite contradict with the first one. The first one said that after watching porn you will be good, but the second said watching too much porn will kill erections. So
Yeah, this one, my opinion on this one is that it's not about pornography. I think the main thing there is anxiety. uh
okay.
yeah, because like if your expectations on yourself is like, oh my gosh, this should be like the porn movies, like my penis has to be like super duper erect and super duper big or whatever, and then suddenly all that anxiety, yeah, that can actually kill your erection.
Okay. Okay. So okay, this one I think is very interesting. You can get pregnant from a kiss or oral sex.
Ooh, okay.
That is what I thought, when I'm young. I'm telling you this. There's nobody tell me how a person gets pregnant. And from movie, I thought from kiss, that's I think maybe primary school, I would think that, kissing someone, you will end up getting pregnant. And I
Ah,
remember when in school time when we learned biology, I also thought, how does this sperms goes into the body? Do you take it orally? So yeah. So there's this sort of myth because you're not being educated when you're young. Nobody
yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah, I think okay, so I would say that there is a way. Like imagine if you were carrying like your like I don't know, you're carrying seminal fluid in your tongue, and then you go out, somehow you find your way in there that deep. Maybe, but that's like a 0.0000% chance that that might actually happen. That would be like really really weird though.
Yeah. And it like example oral sex, I always thought that there's no such thing as oral sex. It's only ugly people will do oral sex.
Yeah, exactly. Although I guess I mean, you know what? If you're really really against or really careful about pregnancy, I would even say, yeah, I think go more the oral sex route.
Okay.
Yeah. All
So
right.
that is, yeah, there's another myth. So let's look at the myth that I can't get pregnant if,
Ooh.
yeah. So I can't get pregnant if I am having my menses. I think that is quite accurate in some way, but it doesn't mean it's 100%.
Huh.
Because yeah,
How would you explain that?
because the chances to get pregnant is during your ovulation, right?
Uh
So
huh.
when you're having your menses, basically you are not ovulating. Basically, if your cycle is generally the normal kind of 28 days, right? So but that doesn't guarantee, like it's not 100%. You might be also ovulating and also having menses. It's not
Ah, okay.
100%. I would
Does
say it's
does that also count? Like, say, ejaculation happens inside the uterus area, but
yeah.
like the woman's what do you call this? Like period is ending, like say tomorrow,
Mhm.
and then the seminal
Yeah.
fluid stays there, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, right. Okay. Ooh, good to know.
So don't think it's 100%, but I would still say it's quite safe, depending,
Mm,
because some women they are having their menses quite a longer period, like 7 days or so, or maybe
mhm.
more. So when you're having having sex during a menses doesn't guarantee that you will not get pregnant. So they
Interesting.
say you can't get pregnant if it's your first time.
I was like, that's so wrong. But isn't that more likely the case?
No, and you know, when previously when we watch movie, it's always like they make love for one time and that particular person get pregnant.
Yeah, I would say that these people are, like some people really have struggles getting pregnant, but damn, like that's great. Although I would say that if it's for both parties, if it's their first time, I actually think that there might be a higher. It's there's less control on yourselves during that time period, so you might actually slip and go all in all out there. Yeah, I think it's possible. Mm.
Okay, so you won't get pregnant if you pull out, means you
That's
ejaculate
that's
outside.
not that's not an assurance, because what if you're already ejaculating partially inside when you're pulling out, or pre-seminal fluid or whatever.
Yeah,
So I mean, I'm definitely in agreement that the point is not when you pull out. The point is if you're fully ejaculating outside, then yes, fine. But the idea that because I'm gonna pull out, it's gonna be safe. That's not. No, I trust science, but I don't trust people's willpower.
so there are also some very silly one that after you can't get pregnant after you ejaculate and you are on a standing position or squatting position to let the fluid out from your body.
What are you gonna let gravity take over and just let it go
Yeah.
down? Wow, that is fascinating. No, that stuff latches in there, like it's stuck
You
there.
don't laugh. I tell you, there's so many teenage boys and girls that thinks that way. When I ask around, there are people who like their first time, and when they ejaculate inside, they will just think that just go to the toilet and squat for 30 minutes and you will not get pregnant.
Oh, wow, this is the first time I've heard of that one. That's interesting. Ah, okay,
Okay.
rinse water or after. Oh, really? Wow, that's a thing. Interesting.
Do you know actually in China, the ancient time, that's what they do. But they doubt the like example, if the king doesn't want to have baby with that particular queen or whoever
Concubine or
concubine, so they will actually put in something to wash it. That's what I heard.
what?
I don't know
Interesting.
how true is that.
I mean, I've heard of that. I just don't know if that practice is still ongoing today. Like, are there people who are still using this? Are doing this?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so, but maybe people would think douching is might clearly,
Yeah,
just spray some water inside.
it's like you're scooping it all out. Yeah, you have to be very. It's like a vacuum cleaner.
Okay. So yeah. So another one is about virginity. A woman will bleed on her first time, and don't be surprised. I think 80% of the women who I asked, they said they didn't bleed,
Hmm.
and mm, and I think part of the reason is also because the bleeding is not like what we watch in the movie, like a lot. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's just a little bit. And if you don't use a tissue to wipe it or anything, you might not really see it. And after you wash it, you can't see it anymore. So a lot of people think that they did not bleed. Or maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, or maybe if they are athletes, they might even tear the hymen before their first intercourse, right?
Yeah, a lot of athletes I know who are dancers, gymnasts, or those who are doing regular splits, etc. Like or track field runners, sprinters, they might have already even ripped that just in the regular practice of constantly being stressed, lower body stress positions. So I would
Oh,
say that, yeah, okay.
oh, okay.
Keen.
So do you think the teenagers, doesn't want to talk sex with their parents?
So this one
Do you?
I'm not sure, but I would say that when I was a teenager, I wish my parents actually talked to me about sex better.
Yeah. So a lot of parents would think their teenage boys or girls doesn't want to talk to them, but actually a lot of them would be happy if their parents educate them,
Yeah. I
openly
think the
talk
reason
about.
why they don't feel like they don't want to is either number one, parents feel awkward about talking about sex or don't want to believe that their children might be having sex.
So that day, somebody told me that I mean she is in her late 20s, and the mom said, "Oh, if you're not married, you shouldn't sleep with men and things like that." And I asked her, "So did your mom lost her virginity after married?" She said, "No."
Yeah,
So I
there
said,
you go.
that is quite a hypocrite then, right? If
Yeah.
you did not, why do you expect your kids to wait until they are married?
It's like newsflash parents, your kids are already talking and thinking and talking about and thinking about sex at like early teenager years. So you might as well start talking to them then about it.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and prepare them well. Like if you are expecting them to have sex at the age of 16, 18, or even 21, you should talk to them like what you should expect, how your first time should be,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. So at least it's not shocking for them once they have their first fairly awkward experience. It's like, it's okay. Don't feel shocked. Don't be scared about it.
So
Okay.
I think if your parents, please talk to your kids. I think they really want to be educated by you rather than their friends. And sometimes, when your friends educate you on sex, there's a lot of peer pressures, right?
Yeah.
They tell you, please do this and do that. This is what all the people are doing and things like that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I remember my dad's best friend. He's a doctor. He's the one who pulled me and my brother and said, "All right, boys, let's talk." My brother was 14 and I was 12, and he just laid it out in front of us. I was like, whoa.
Do you appreciate that or you think that's too much?
I actually really did because when it happened, it was just my dad, his best friend, and me and my brother. So it
Mm.
was like an open, guys conversation, and I felt good as like I was the youngest person in the group, and they were talking about these things very openly. So it's just that my dad was telling my mom, "Don't come out of your room, stay in there, don't be part of the conversation." I was like, "Wow."
Okay, okay, okay. So, do you think men are always up for sex? They say
No,
like every 4 minutes, men think about sex.
no, I think this is rubbish. I would definitely say that in the early adult years, especially like late teens or teenager and early 20s, assuming that the man is fairly healthy, yeah, you would get multiple erections during the day spontaneously. And sure, you can be enticed to have sex during those time periods. But I would say that men are not always up for sex, especially if your lifestyle is so it's like, for example, in my case, I cannot. You can be interested in having sex, but you don't necessarily want to ejaculate all the time because if you ejaculate, you're so tired. Your testosterone levels drop in half. You don't have the willpower to work anymore. You just want to sleep and rest. So I wouldn't
And
say that
I
this is.
think, and I think the old times maybe men would think of sex more because there's less entertainment. Your work stress is less. So
Yeah,
maybe the old times, yes, but I think nowadays stress are really killing the desire. A
yeah.
lot of men because of stress, I
I
don't
think
think
if
they
you're
think.
very healthy and you have a lot of free time, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. So the next one is sex is only for young people. So older people don't have sex. So that day I have a staff, like the mom is asking her about lubricants. Then she was like, "Oh, you are still doing it?"
Yeah,
She's like, "Oh my God, please don't tell me."
yeah.
Yeah. So I
I
think
would
be
even
as
dare to say that.
be
Of
as
course,
we as kids, we always think that our parents are not doing it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually say that, man, if you want to know people who really know what they're doing, ask the veterans who've been having sex for so long, like they know what to tell you of what works and what doesn't work.
So,
Yeah,
so do you think your parents are still having sex?
I would think so.
Okay,
I
okay.
would.
So
I
yeah.
know for a
Okay,
fact
good.
that my grandfather is still having a lot of sex.
Wow. How
Yeah,
old is your
he's
grandfather?
76 and
Wow.
his girlfriend is 54.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
Nice.
oh, grandpa. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the next episode, we need to invite a grandpa as the guest.
That's a good idea. Let's get somebody who's like very sexually active at an elderly age. That's a great
Yes,
idea. Do that.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Another myth is vagina are tight or loose depending on the amount of sex a person has or the partner's penis size. So let's say if your partner's penis size is big, your vagina tends to be loose.
Mm, okay. I think I will let you start on this topic.
Okay, I think it's quite stupid to think that because no matter how big is the penis, it will not be like as big as a baby, right? So I
Yeah.
think just the penis size will not change the vagina size. It definitely will not change because our vagina it will expand and shrink
Mm-hmm.
because we have elastin, we have collagen. So unless you are having a natural vaginal birth, okay, then that might cause you to be more loose, vaginal loose, laxity. But it also depending on your age. If you are younger when you are giving birth, the chances of it to be recovered and return to its original size is possible. But if you are at the older age, then it might be getting laxity after childbirth. But
Mm.
penis, no way. I don't think there's such a big penis that can make the vagina loose.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Plus, also, the more women have mastery of the muscles inside their vaginal canal, then they can make it tighter, they can make it looser. And then, if both of you are really, really turned on and you're really into each other, then it's going to be so lubricated that it's going to be so smooth to like have sex in the first place. So, no, that's not a hard and fast rule.
Lubrication is really, really under under we are not talking that enough. Yes,
Yeah.
lubrication is important for first time. If you're a virgin, I think it's also very important. Menopause, very important. Breastfeeding, very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was talking to this woman the other day who said that because she's very very stressed out all the time and she's not very easy to trust people whenever she has sex with her partner. Sometimes even her vaginal canal is so tight because she has so much tension that
Yeah.
she sometimes requires extra lubrication beyond just natural lubrication just to like ease into it
True,
much easier.
true. And
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of anxiety as well. Sometimes when you make love halfway, you start to get to dry up. Let's say you have intercourse more than 8 minutes, and usually women start to dry up after 8 minutes. Then they
Mm.
will have a lot of anxiety, so like they want to end the sessions as soon as possible. So if
Yeah.
you hear the woman telling you, okay, please finish up quickly, then it means maybe their vagina is drying up. Yeah. Okay, so the next myth is orgasm is the only goal in sex.
Whew. I would say that for young people, the first goal is to have sex in the first place. That's the first goal. Like, I want to experience having sex. I think young adults would think that orgasms would be a good goal over time, just to be able to experience an orgasm, especially for women, because for men it's more mechanical. But I would say that in the long run, orgasms are not the goal as much as it is to connect with somebody very
Yeah,
deeply or to have fun or both.
true,
Yeah.
true. especially when as you age, maybe it's a little bit harder to get erection.
Yeah.
Uh, depending on your age. So if you are having problem having erection or even orgasm, then I think sometimes sex is also just having fun
Yeah.
and being connected. Okay, so okay, this one, men and women orgasm at the same time. I think this is all because of pornography. Because when
Yeah.
you watch pornography, the men and women tends to orgasm at the same time.
Yeah, this is just no, no. But you can make it happen so that if you guys are skilled enough to time yourselves together, I think that's
I
really
think
really nice.
it's not that easy. Imagine if the woman orgasm 30 seconds before the man, after the man, after the man.
Yeah, I would
So
say that.
almost there, but not there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think for example, for some people that I know, they take advantage of the fact that their partners are able to have multiple orgasms, and then for the men, they have very good control over themselves that they can actually anticipate or move themselves in a way that will very quickly make them ejaculate, so that they time it properly, which is really really nice and cute that they have that level of mastery. I think that's for the most part, the most common stories of couples having sex is not like that. Most of them is like one comes first over the other, or sometimes they always prioritize someone first, or sometimes only one of them do. It depends, really. So,
Sure. So the next myth is women don't care about orgasm as much as men.
oof,
I think women should care twice as much as men.
yeah,
Because women, you can have multiple orgasm and your clitoris has more sensation compared to the man. So I think you should care, twice as much.
yeah, and also yeah, it is more nerve endings, but at the same time, it's a lot more complicated for women to have an orgasm. It's as much emotional and psychological as much as it is physical. So you
Mm.
have to care. Like if you kind of want to enjoy sex, like you have to care about that and figure that out. I think men not so much because they tend to be fairly mechanical about that.
Okay, faking orgasm is okay. Do you think men's fake orgasm?
Yes.
Men fake orgasm?
Yeah.
How do they fake orgasm?
Well, okay. So this story comes from athletes that I used to be what do you call this? Athletes that I used to be part of in the same team, because we are actually encouraged to not ejaculate and have sex regularly, maybe once a week or so, but never during training days because you cannot
But
perform during training days.
is that a myth or is that a fact? That
So
athletes should not, yeah.
no, we're encouraged to not ejaculate during
Okay,
training days because our testosterone levels drop so much.
okay.
So like for example, in my younger years, and a couple of my friends have done this on our partners, like we faked our orgasms and whatever. Because men can also have orgasms that don't have ejaculation.
Yeah,
So
but
you
not
know,
many people know. Not many people know about that. That
yeah.
men can achieve orgasm without ejaculation.
Yeah, and at the same time, if you've drained yourself out so much, it's also possible that almost nothing will come out anyway.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so yeah, men can also fake that, and they fake it as much like not disappoint, their partners when that really awkward situation, and they're like, ah. But I genuinely think that faking orgasms is a terrible idea. I think people should stop doing it.
Yeah, I think one is you are not. Example, if you're faking the orgasm, something that is not pleasurable, you are giving a wrong signal to your partner.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really horrible that way, and that's just another lie that you're adding one after the other, and then eventually the truth will come out at some point, and then you both are both fucked. Yeah.
Do you think if you fake it and you will build resentment towards your partner?
If you find out that your partner is faking, I think it's very easy for people to have resentment
Okay,
because
okay,
that's lying.
true. So is a bigger penis better?
I'm not going to say anything about that. So,
I would think that it requires a minimum size that is not too big,
mm,
the average size. But the bigger, I don't think is better. Also depending on the partner, right?
yeah.
Because if the partner is very petite and very shallow kind of vagina, and you have a man who is like too big, I think it's all about compatibility.
Yeah. Like I know women who actually complain about having partners with too big, like the too big penises, that it actually
Yeah.
hits the like the uteral wall so much that it actually hurts them.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, true.
Focus
So
on technique, guys. Focus on technique, everybody. Besides, going in and out in penetration is not going to stimulate the clitoris very well unless you really know how you're angling and what you're doing. So
too
focus on
big or too small is really not good. It's all about compatibility. Who is your
that.
partner? Okay, this is very interesting. Men's penis are like are measured by their shoe size or their finger size.
Oh God, like this is so weird, and I don't know, like
But I tell you, it's true, I mean, from young age, there's so much of this myth. Like you measure the guys,
like this, right?
girl.
Yeah.
So this is the usual size. I mean, show your fingers is a kill. so so is this true or is a myth? Is it a fact or is a myth?
I don't think I should be answering that question here, but
I
but
don't know where it comes from. I don't know where it comes from, but I think it's a myth. It's a
it's definitely a myth. I would say that it's like one of the men that I know who has a ridiculously huge penis size is also one of the guys I know who has the weirdest and what do you call this proportion of height to foot size. Like his feet are size 41 and then his height is like 180. So it's like, man, your feet are tiny compared to your height, but he's from Africa, so no. No.
okay. Okay, so I guess she doesn't get much date because people judge him by his shoe. The
I would
woman judge him by his shoe size.
say that his teenager years were not very nice. So yeah, there's a lot of jokes on him, but now he's like, no, I'm making up for it. It's like
Okay, so next myth is about condoms. Okay, so a lot of people say no, I don't like condoms because it's doesn't feel good. It ruins the sex.
yeah. Yeah, I would say that condoms, like, but this, the general assumption is that the problem that they have is number one, it potentially reduces sensitivity of how it feels on the man's penis, and number two, which surprisingly that people complain about, is the idea that oh, you're having foreplay, and then there's this awkward couple of seconds of trying to put one on.
Oh,
They just find
okay.
it like it's such like it destroys the mood. So let's just get with
Oh,
it. It's like wow, like what 2-3 seconds? You can just I just practice that as well.
but
But I would
I do think sometimes the lubricants also plays an important role.
uh,
Because if not enough lubricants, you might also make it too dry for penetration.
I would also yeah, that's also possible. And also like if people sometimes use condoms very strategically. So some variations of condoms have like dots on
What
them,
do
have
you mean by
ribbing.
strategy?
Depends on what you guys want to play with. There's like different brands that have types of like ultra thin, like almost invisible feeling, or the other one which is like has small rubber spikes on it for added interesting
The
feeling, or
what? rib sensation, right?
Like rib sensation. And there's also like I generally have also used condoms strategically to numb sensation to last longer. So
Okay, okay. So this might be a teenage myth. Double condom, double safety.
wow, I have never heard this before.
Because you wear the condom, two condom to
Like
to
one on
prevent,
top of the other.
huh?
One on top
Sorry,
of the other.
yes.
Whoa. Okay.
But actually, it's actually worse. It might be more risky because you might actually rip off that
Hmm.
condom. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
if you all are thinking double condom, double safety, no, it's not. One is enough.
What is enough? Yeah, just make sure you put it on properly and please study how to put one on.
Yeah. Is there an instruction when you buy the condom?
Well, no, surprisingly not. Like there's no instructions for it that you might actually have to Google online or watch a YouTube video to like see how do you do this. Okay, fine. Like the more high-end brands might actually explain because
Okay.
some of them have special tools. But for the
So,
most part,
so,
there are.
so basically, if you want to have sex for the first time, you better practice wearing your condom
Yeah,
first.
yeah. I don't know. Use a banana or something. I don't know.
Why? Use your own penis.
Well, what if you're not in the mood? Like just practice it out. So,
I think they should practice it out before.
and I would actually also say that I think women should also practice putting one on their
The back.
partner as well. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. For
Okay.
so that everybody knows what's going on. What if your partner has injured hands and then you guys need help? True story.
but
True story.
but do you think with fingernails it might tear the condom?
No, no. I wouldn't necessarily say. I would say that one of the professionals that I know who really knows how to put stuff like this on, man, she can do it even using her mouth. It's incredible.
Wow.
Yes, that
Okay,
is like
okay.
skill level. Like skill level, incredible.
So you need to practice. That's the thing. You need to practice to be so skillful.
I was gonna go like, come on, guys. Remember, sex is a skill. Practice it.
Okay. Okay, so the next one is longer sex is better.
No.
No, you always have marathon sex.
Oh, once a week maybe, but not all the time. I would say that no, longer sex is not necessarily better. I think when you're both satisfied, move on. Sometimes it's great to have short ones, especially it's like spur of the moment, spontaneous kind of thing. And then there's a time and place to like, okay, let's go for like a couple of hours. It's fine.
You can't be doing marathon every day, right?
No way. Ask your uncle, your grandfather, or whatever. Do you think they do marathon? No, I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe.
No.
I don't know. I should ask.
I think the next episode we need to invite your grandpa
Yeah.
or maybe your grandma. Your grandpa's girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the boss there when it comes to
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Sex
Okay,
or
sex.
shameful. Ooh. How do we determine that people say that sex is dirty? Because number one, they don't want to talk about it. Number
I think it started from very young. Like example, when kids they are touching their own penis,
mm,
then they are being hit on their hand. They are being scolded. That is why it feels bad. It's
yeah.
bad.
Plus, every time somebody wants to talk about it, they get told to like, no, like
Yeah.
shut up and don't talk about it.
Yes.
Mm,
Or maybe they slut shaming other people. Like, oh
yeah.
no. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's also depending on whether you are from a sex positive family or a sex negative family.
It's very true. Yeah. Generally, I would say that parents who don't have a very healthy sex life as well are more likely to demonize sex to their children. Yeah. So bitter lah. Don't be like that.
Okay. So, if I don't have desire towards my partner, it means I don't love him or her anymore.
Oh wow. Okay, you first. Mm.
I I think this is two different things. I see a lot of couples who are still in love with each other, but they
Mm.
no longer have desire because they there's no spontaneous, there's no playfulness, they become like family. So I think sometimes in a relationship, you still need to have some mystery so that you ignite the desire,
But
right?
do they have problems with the fact that they don't have desire?
No, it's just that I think sometimes a lot of people think that, oh, I don't have desires, that's why I don't love my partner anymore. I think it's not true. I think sometimes you do love your partner, but you forget to ignite your desire. So
Mm.
sometimes when you see a new person, because that person is so mystery, you don't know, you feel like you can't get the person, that's why you have so much of desire. I think desire is always about something that you want, but you might not get it. And if you're with a partner for so long and she's always there, then you might just lost the desire. But I think they are still in love. So I think a lot of people will think that, oh, I don't love my wife anymore. I think it's not true. And they
Mm.
think they will love a new party. I think it's not true. It's just that the new person is more mystery because it's new, right? So it gives you a little bit more desire. But I think if a couple work on their desire, they can ignite back that desire, like foreplay, anticipation.
Yeah,
you know,
isn't the lack of desire more likely to lead to potential entertainment of sexual affairs?
yes,
Yeah,
it's true.
definitely.
So
Hmm.
I always think that when you don't have desire, you need to work on your desire. It's not that because you don't love your partner anymore.
Correct.
Mm.
100% agree.
Okay, so pubic hair grooming. You prefer uh hairless or with hair?
Well, it says, I mean, okay, you're talking from my perspective.
Mm,
I would say groomed, taken care
groom.
of. I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't have a strong preference if it's just completely gone, but if they pay attention to it, like groom it properly. It shouldn't be like dark forest, black
Yeah,
forest.
like that's like super messy, right?
Yeah, and that goes for men too. I mean,
Yeah.
8 out of 10 female partners would
Groom.
desire for a more well groomed pubic area for on men as well. So
Okay.
yeah, just I think. By the way,
By the way, by the
this
way, we
topic is
do. By the way, Beauty and Co. We do Brazilian hair removal. You can get it totally gone, permanently gone, or you can also or you can actually just do bikini line,
mm,
or you want to do special shapes.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
there is some stats that state that men, like partners, are more likely and more inclined to perform oral sex on their partners with a groomed pubic region. So that is definitely a plus. So no
Yes.
reason not to do it.
Okay. So you can groom it nicely and
Yeah,
seduce someone,
I
and
would.
you get higher chance to have oral sex.
I would dare men to try like waxing at least once, just to see how it feels for them.
I have asked my guy friends to go for waxing, and after the experience, they come out. It's like, oh my god,
Wait, so much pain or what?
pain is one thing, and they feel like it's like so clean. It's like
Yeah,
totally bald, right? Like gone. Everything's gone.
I don't know. I think once you really enjoy that, once you feel what it feels like to be groomed, I don't think you'd really like not want to be well groomed anymore. It's a very different type of nice feeling, so it's great.
And I have actually men customer who groom it himself and he pluck it one by one, and sometimes it's like bleeding. I said, please leave
Whoa.
it to the professional.
Yeah,
Let
no,
the
don't pluck
professional
it.
do the job.
Wow, I think that's really, really. I think okay. He's when we joke, I think he's got balls for doing that because that hurts if you're plucking that.
It's true. Plucking it is really bad, I think. Okay. Uh, Men do not want to do oral sex on women. Do you think it's true?
No, no, that's not true. That's why there's a lot of rap songs that talk about going down on a woman or eating her out or whatever.
But
Sorry,
I
sorry,
but I think
sorry.
also I think also personal preference, right? I
Yes.
think people who are more sex negative, maybe they don't feel like doing it. Because
Hmm.
to them it's always the private part are considered the dirty part. Like it's
Yeah.
dirty, it's shameful, it's dirty. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
would
I
say that
think
in most circle of friends that I have, almost all the men actually enjoy like also giving oral sex to their partners.
I think 99% of the men will enjoy getting it. Giving it, I think, really depends on how they look at sex. I do come across quite a lot of couples that they don't do oral sex at all.
Yeah. I was reading this survey, but this was 2016 though. They said that 900 straight Canadian college students that are male, 93% said that giving oral sex was somewhat or very pleasurable, which is great.
Maybe that's Canada, not Asia.
Asia, I don't know. Well, at least everybody, you know where to go.
So, but I think again, when I talk to couples that they don't perform oral sex, I always say, you are missing a very big part of pleasure.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I
Hmm.
yeah, I think, and we also need to know why you don't do it. Is it because of hygiene? Is it because of mindset? You know?
Or also maybe they just don't know what to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is it?
I would tell you that that's one of the primary reasons that I have heard of why a lot of men don't want to do it
Oh my
because they
God!
don't
You're
know what
putting
to do.
you're putting images on my mind. I'm like, if that person doesn't know how to do it, it's also very awkward for the woman.
Yeah, exactly. Then it just kills the mood. It's like playing with the radio, like this, like that. Oh, what to do?
and
Like,
and
no.
and like, the woman, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, exactly. That is the question. Like, what are you trying to do?
Okay. Yeah. So
There's
so
also not a lot of references on how to do that for men, like for men to learn how to or learn what to do. Because honestly, that has a lot of exploration to do with your partner. You have to ask and
yeah,
get feedback and whatever, and that's scary for a
yeah.
lot of people.
I think the communication part and the feedback part is really very, very important.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
and a lot of people will just zip and don't talk. You know,
Hmm.
and if you don't give feedback to your partner, how would he or she know whether it is nice or it's not nice, or you know
Yeah, then people start faking
whether
orgasms.
yeah, then they start faking orgasm, and imagine, because it's not nice, that's why she fake it to end it, and the
Yeah,
guy think it's so nice that he keep repeating and doing that thing that she doesn't like. Oh my God.
oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
Guys, please, you all, please communicate. I think it's really, really important. Don't fake it. Don't fake it. Okay, so we have the final one, final few. Anal sex. So is anal sex only for gay couple?
No. I would definitely say no. Definitely not. There's a lot of people there's quite a big chunk of people who are sexually active that at any given point in time have explored some form of anal stimulation. And a healthy percentage of them actually enjoy some form of anal stimulation. And that's not just for men, and not just for women either. So it's for both. So
So
it's not
for
just
men, it's more the man is more of the prostate massage as well, right? Which is
that's the most common one that I've heard men talk about, and there's a certain few that really want something stuck up their ass too. It adds a certain degree of like tension variety for them. That's
okay.
perfectly fine. BDSM crowd, definitely,
Oh.
definitely everyone's had some exploration there for men and for women.
So
So
so I did a little survey around when it comes to anal sex. I think a majority of the people will have some curiosity, like
mm,
how does it feels like, but a lot, especially women, after trying it, they don't really like it.
yeah.
And very, very small percentage of women that I see they enjoyed it, but majority, some like they are open to try it, but after that, I don't. A lot of them say no, they don't prefer.
Yeah, I think if I got my stats right, I think 70% of respondents for this survey in 2018 said they at least tried some form of anal sex stimulation during their sex lives. And out of the 70%, only 30% would actually found it to be like pleasurable. The other side just were like meh or said can avoid it. But the one thing in common for everybody was like use good lubricant.
Yeah, see, there's so much of play that you need lubricants. Please, if you really need a good quality of lubricants, come and look for us. Buy at our website. And I tell you, recently our lubricants are selling very, very well because you can't find another lubricants that is as good as this. I think that's very serious. I
Yeah,
have not
people should.
come across any lubricants that is as good as this. And yeah, so again, I want to remind you all, me and Ezekiel, we are not doctors talking about sex. The stat that we give you all might not be accurate, but we just want to make talking about sex like a norm, right?
Mhm.
So if you think today we have said something wrong, yeah, you can talk about it, right? So the more we talk about sex, I think it make it normalized, and I think that is also a very big part of our life. Our
Yep.
sex life is also a very big part of our life. So if you are able to improve your sex life, I think you definitely have a better quality of life.
Mhm.
So do you want to say the final one?
Yeah. So somebody said this to me. Said God cannot see anal sex, only vaginal sex. So I was like, wow. I asked this person like, where did this come from? And then her statement, because this woman is 19 years old and she's in the US, and her statement, and I know she's also joking about it, but it's something that goes around. They basically said that, oh, because we're really Christian, blah blah blah, we're not supposed to have sex until we're married, but we found a loophole. And the loophole was like, I was like, what the hell? And then they sent me a YouTube video of this music video of these two girls who's singing like the sex that God cannot see, anal sex. I was like, what the hell is this? I don't know, but apparently this is a thing. And also, where I came from an environment where there was a lot of Christian and Catholic schools, and most people would engage in anal sex or oral sex, but not vaginal sex.
Oh my God. Okay, okay. So
Fascinating,
I
no?
think I think even like in the Chinese culture, you hardly see parents talking to their kids about sex.
Mm,
So yeah, so I think it's really important because your kids are curious, and if you don't educate them, you are actually pushing them towards their peers or, some predators maybe, So it's really important for you to educate your kids.
Yeah, at least give them legit information so they don't come in it blind or looking in the wrong sources. I think that's
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah. So I think the first question your kids always ask is where baby comes from,
Have your
right?
have your like how about are your kids already asking you that now?
My kids is very advanced. My daughter is telling me about pansexual. Do you know what is pansexual?
Yes.
I learned pansexual from her.
Yeah, she's gonna start down that rabbit hole of explaining that pansexual and sexuality is like a spectrum of, I think, 100 different varieties.
So I was like trying to talk to her, like trying to make it like a norm. She said, "Oh, do you know what is pansexual?" I said, "I don't know what is pansexual." Or you love somebody because of the personality and not because of their sex or their gender. And I
Yeah.
said, "Oh," then I said, "Yeah, then maybe I am a pansexual." I said,
Yeah.
"I love someone because of the personality." Then she asked, will you date a woman? So, you see,
Yeah.
they are
There's,
so curious. They will keep on
there's two
digging
that
and
are
digging.
coming out. Like pansexuality is one. The other one is sapiosexuality, which is somebody who's attracted to intelligent people.
Okay.
So hey, it's
So there's all
21.
sorts of.
What the hell is going on? So whatever.
So I used to only know bisexual and gay and lesbian. Now there's this pansexual. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a. So if you don't learn and educate your kids is going to educate you with, I don't know whether it's the right information or not. So
Yeah.
it's really good if you can talk to your kids openly about this and make, you see, even right now, a lot of times when our customers, when they have like sexual issue, like urine incontinence, after giving birth, then when
Hmm.
they ask their mom said, "Oh, it's normal. It's like that. Accept it." you know. So so they just like, yeah, it's normal. Like end of story. No need to communicate anymore. Right? It's sad, right? So I think we need to talk more about sex, the
Mhm.
challenges that we face. Um, Younger time maybe is more on education. Maybe your kids doesn't really know what sex really means,
Yeah.
and maybe safety. And when you are your sexually active years, maybe is mainly talking about pleasure. So I would think a lot of people miss out the pleasure because nobody talked about it. And when it comes to your old age, you are not as you might not be able to explore as much as when you are young, right?
Yep.
And your older time, a lot of times people just think that old people don't have sex, do not need to have sex, so they just end their end their sex life prematurely. So they are still able to have sex, but they end it prematurely. So I think the
Yeah.
more we talk about it, then we will understand what are the normal challenges that people face, and there is always a solution towards it. Okay. So thank
Yep.
you very much, everybody, for tuning in. If you want to listen to me and Ezekiel for Better Sex, Better Life, we will be online again 3 weeks later. So, Ezekiel, any final words?
Oh, I'm just gonna say, talk about sex. Treat it like it's a hobby or a skill, so that you're constantly learning, and try not to be dogmatic about it. Like everybody's different, but you'll always have to play around and learn what works for you.
I think that skill thing is really important. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you play your piano, you won't stop, right? And you will
Yep.
not play only one piece, right? You'll keep on learning new pieces, right? So why are you stop learning about sex? You should keep on exploring and have fun with it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So I'll see you again 3 weeks later.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.